The Supreme President King here, and welcome back to NationStates with the nation of Von Julia. So, we are back because I want to unveil the new flag of Von Julia right here. If we go to History of Von Julia and scroll down, you can see the previous flag was this. Now, the new flag is this. A little bit different. I wanted to change it because this flag was the not exact, carbon copy of Christos. And when Christos merged with Von Julia, I was like, they need a new flag. So here it is. Alright, so other than unveiling a new flag, I wanted to go into issues because we have a special issue. And this is I don't know what they call it, but I call it a chain issue, where this issue will lead into another issue depending on what you choose. So it's basically like a chain or a story of issues. So let's go ahead and get to it. So this issue is called Never Say Yes to a Conference Again, and it's part of the Madness issue chain. Issue series, there we go. Alright, so
subscribe.
Once again, the cruel hand of obligation has dragged you to the G20K Summit, an annual gathering of nations great and small. You are currently stuck in the evening social mixer, where one wrong word to a rival nation's representative can quickly escalate to hostilities. Unfortunately, several dignitaries appear keen on talking to you. Alright, so we are in a diplomatic international event, and we have certain nations coming to say hi to us. So the first person coming up, there you are, we haven't spoken ages, enthuses Chancellor Kurt Zamakibo of Smalltopia. I hate to ask for your help, but I have a bit of a conundrum. I'm sure you have heard that Islebatuk, our largest neighbor, has become rather menacing and hostile recently. Their military has been conducting frequent training exercises right next to the border. The next thing you know, they'll be storming our cities with their tanks. To be blunt, we need protection from the communist warmongers, okay? Would it be possible to station some of your nuclear weapons in our country? We'll think about it. Number 2. Before you can respond, you hear a shout from the nearby bar. Hey, it's the head honcho of Von Julia. How's it going? Exclaims Smalltopia's Air Chief Marshal Conan Fufu, who seems to see this sort of gathering as an excuse to get unproaciously drunk. That's how you say it, I guess. Did the boss man tell you about our proposal to borrow some of your nukes? You know, if you really wanted to protect us, why don't you just give us the launch codes after sending over your missiles? That way, we'd both be able to unleash destruction upon anyone who threatened us, including those vulgar Maxtopians. Alright. Next one, yeah, we're not giving out our nuclear launch codes, declares your Defense Minister, Mac Ramera. Nice. Nice alliteration there. Who has been glaring at the Merovingian delegation with a look of disgust. However, Chancellor Samakibo has a point. The commie parasites need to be kept in check. Tell Smalltopia that we will agree to their request, but only if we can set up a military base in their land. And doing it correctly is going to require a lot of tax dollar marks. Alright, and finally, seriously, you still have weapons of mass destruction? Calls Prime Minister Anders Anderson of Skandelund, who was eavesdropping from a nearby table. I strongly urge you to dismantle them. I know they make you feel powerful and can lead to a variety of entertaining dilemmas, but the world would be so much safer without them, and more boring. But I suppose some people like that. Alright. I guess we can help Smalltopia out, but we're gonna have a military presence in their land. We're gonna choose number 3. And the talking point, the military has gone fishing for more funding. Okay, here are the recent headlines. Go ahead and pause the video if you'd like. And then here are some stats. Alright, so we have to wait for the next issue to come out, and that will be part of the issue series. So we'll be back. Alright, we're back in NationStates with Von Julia. the new issue is out for the issue series of Madness. So, we now have From Isla Batuk with Love. Alright, a few months have passed since the G20K summit, where you agreed to station some of your nuclear weapons in Smalltopia to aid in their defense against the forces of communism. Alright, so let's see what has happened. Today was supposed to be a calm day. The issues on your desk this morning were even more trivial than usual. Of course, that's how it always goes. Your Minister of Intelligence, known only as N, suddenly bursts into your office with an armful of surveillance photos. Supreme President King, we've discovered an urgent problem. The nearby island nation of San Vitenzo, a backward communist hellhole, has suddenly become a buzzing hive of activity. East Lubatuk has covertly brought a shipment of nuclear missiles to the island and is setting them up as we speak. Yes, we put some of our own missiles in Smalltopia, but we're the good guys. They have no right to threaten us. I'm sending the secret agent James Bond to deal with this situation. Of course, we will need to attack this problem on all fronts. So I have invited our colleagues from some of the less interesting government ministries to discuss a few additional options. Alright, so it sounds like we've gotten ourselves into a nuclear crisis, just like the Cuban nuclear crisis, and for some reason we're sending our agent James Bond to maybe deal with it. So, okay. Well, let's see what our other ministries have to say about this. Number 1, without any hesitation, Defense Minister Mac Romero marches into your office and drops a stack of reports into your lap. We can't afford to let East Labatuk put our citizens in mortal danger. Those commies only respect power and violence. If we send our warships to blockade San Vitenzo, this will allow us to project a show of force, while also preventing additional shipments of missiles or enemy troops from reaching the island. Do you agree? Alright, and number 2, perhaps a calmer reply would produce better results, suggests Minister of International Diplomacy Maureen Dusk, who walks in with the acoustic guitar that she is infamous for carrying around at all times. The missiles are definitely a threat, but they're not yet capable of firing them from San Vitenzo. We have a limited window of opportunity to solve things peacefully. What if we suggested some sort of diplomatic summit between our 3 nations? It couldn't hurt to ask. Alright. So what we're gonna choose number 2. We're gonna use all our resources to find peace with peace before we have to use weapons. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose number 2, and we're gonna see what the next issue is in this series. So we'll choose number 2. There's more than one way to skin a diplomat. Alright, what a weird talking point. And then this is the headline. We only have one. Surprising. And we have no recent trends. Okay, so we'll wait until the next issue comes out and we'll see what it's about. Alright, so we have another issue for the issue series of Madness for Supreme President King's ears only. So let us see what it says. Secret Agent James Bond has been sent to San Vitenzo with orders to infiltrate the missile installation sites. Alright, the issue. As you are heading toward yet another meeting, you receive a phone call from N, your Minister of Intelligence, who has news from James Bond and needs to speak with you about his mission. Number 1. Good morning, boss, proclaims the steady voice of your spy chief. Bond reported that he was able to steal a missile technician's uniform and security badge that may allow him to enter the enemy base undetected. However, there's been a small complication. We believe that one or more enemy agents are aware of his presence. They are probably too dangerous to ignore. Do you want to give Bond a free hand to neutralize the threat? A few bullets should take care of... Wait, did you hear that clicking sound? I hope this phone isn't bugged. Code Blue, Supreme President King. N hangs up, leaving you bewildered. Alright, that doesn't sound too good. Let's check the second thing. After staring at your phone for a few seconds, you feel your right shoe vibrating as blue text starts scrolling across the toe. Alternatively, if you're uncomfortable with extrajudicial killings, you could order Bond to capture any enemy spies and hand them off to us for interrogation. It's riskier than just shooting them. Our enemies may have set up a trap that could result in Bond's death, but we might be able to gain valuable intel or use prisoners as a negotiating tool. And then finally, while still thinking it over, you're suddenly interrupted by a cooing coming from an open window. A carrier pigeon alights on your shoulder and presents a small note tied to its right leg. There's a third way of dealing with this. If you want, you could instruct Bond to simply ignore the enemy agents and focus on his primary mission. This might just be a diversion to waste our time and allow East Lebatok to finish installing their missiles. Well, let me know of your decision by this evening. P.S. This message will self-destruct in 10 seconds. Oh my goodness. That poor pigeon. Okay. You know what? Let's go ahead and just go James Bond on this. Let's give James Bond the license to kill. Talking point, enemy agents are generally eliminated with extreme prejudice. Here are some headlines. Handrail should not be optional corner appliance. Here are some more. Old woman waits in vain for help crossing road. Oh no. And then here are some recent trends. Alright, so I believe this issue series is going to continue, so we will wait for the next one. Alright, back into NationStates. In the issue series of Madness, we have another one available. This one is called Chairman No. So, the story so far, you have called for a meeting in an attempt to resolve the missile situation without resorting to violence. Okay, and what is the issue? East Lebatok and San Vicenzo have accepted your request for a diplomatic summit. After a brief flight, you arrive in Gran Falun, the dusty and impoverished capital city of San Vicenzo. Several dignitaries are already waiting to speak to you. Okay. Let's meet them. Ah, the capitalist pigs have arrived, smirks East Labatok's chairman Joseph Rushev, who was handing out hammer and sickle pins to the local residents. The proud workers of San Vicenzo are tired of putting up with imperialist harassment. Stationing our nuclear weapons here liberates them from the threat of outside interference. With our support and protection, San Vicenzo can divert funding from their military to schools, roads, and other infrastructure. Now kindly remove yourselves from this island before you get in any trouble, and try to improve the welfare of your own downtrodden citizens before casting any more aspersions upon our brave comrades. Not liking that response. So let's see the others. Let's not start off on the wrong foot, calls out San Vicenzo sandal-clad President for Life Doc Moreno, as he walks up to you and pulls you aside. The hardworking people of our nation need protection from the imperialists of the world who would take advantage of us. Like you, perhaps. However, these nuclear missiles have just turned us into a target. What if you and Rushev were to each remove some of your weapons that were near the other party's borders? If your missiles in Smalltopia were to disappear, I think I could talk to Rushev into removing all of his missiles from this island. Now, while you're here, have you ever heard of Boko Maru? He looks at your feet and removes a tape measure from his pocket. I don't know what Boko Maru is. Alright, the last person. As you are about to return to your hotel, a young woman approaches you and starts speaking repeatedly. Excuse me, my name is Ramona Moreno. President Moreno is my father. Papa is too proud to admit it, but our people are starving. Since he'll never ask for it directly, I will. We need massive amounts of food and medical aid. The East Labatokis don't care about our people. They're just exploiting us for our resources and taking advantage of our location in case they need to launch missiles at Bon Julia. Without your assistance, we'll quickly end up as another impoverished, powerless satellite state within East Labatok Socialist Pact. Please negotiate a missile removal plan with my father and then send us as much aid as you can afford. Okay, I mean, it makes sense. From number 2 and number 3, they both want to not be a target and need help, honestly. Because I agree with this. Number 2, this nation is now a target for other nations since it has nuclear weapons. But I also like to help out too. So, what we're going to do... we're going to choose... Let's see. Let's do number 2. Let's do number 2. I think 2 is a good choice. So the talking point, they say the best compromise leaves everyone feeling a little unarmed. Nice pun. Alright, and then here are the headlines. Environment groups applaud government initiative. Military base converted to well-defended retirement village. Okay. And then here are some recent trends if you want to take a look. Alright, we'll see if that was the last issue in this series, but we shall see. So I'll see you in the next issue. Alright, so I think we have one more issue for the issue series Madness. Right here, you only negotiate twice. So let's go ahead and check it out. You only negotiate twice. The story so far, you agreed to remove your missiles from Smalltopia in exchange for East Labatuk removing their missiles from San Vincenzo. Alright, ooh, we only have one choice. Interesting, so I think this is the end of this issue series. So here's the issue. After a series of secret negotiations, everyone has shaken hands and made a commitment to disarm. You and an aide have met with Chairman Joseph Rushev in a beautiful glass-fronted conference room in San Vincenzo to sign the final agreement. Alright, here we go. Good morning, are you ready to make history? Let me just get my ceremonial signing pen. Rushev reaches into his coat pocket and removes not a pen, but a Makarov pistol, which he points directly at your chest. Oh. Wait, what happened? Have you noticed that world leaders like ourselves never get frisked for weapons? I can't remember the last time I had to go through a metal detector. Seems like a security flaw, don't you think? Well, I digress. I hope you didn't actually expect me to remove my own missiles. You see, I didn't get to be chairman of East Labatuk by giving up power every time I had a disagreement with someone. Real leaders do whatever it takes to seize power and claw our way to the top. Of course, I hope you understand that this isn't personal, it's just politics. As soon as you're dead. Suddenly, the window shatters as James Bond crashes into the room in a hail of glass fragments, closely followed by his Von Heuler flag parachute. Bond quickly fires a miniature grappling hook from his wristwatch, which latches onto Rushev's pistol and pulls it out of his hand. I hope you don't mind me dropping in, boss. Your aide pressed the panic button, and I see that Mr. Commie-in-Chief is up to his old tricks. Well, here's how it's going to go. Rushev, I secretly removed a warhead from one of your nuclear missiles and handed it off to one of my colleagues in East Labatuk. He has hidden it in your capital city, ready for detonation at a moment's notice. Either you sign that agreement and follow through with each of its terms, or your glorious workers' paradise is going to be a victim of your own hubris. Are we clear? Rushev nods and quickly scribbles his name on the agreement. Good. Now get out of here and don't threaten Von Julia ever again, or your capital will become a radioactive crater faster than you can say a Marxist class struggle. Bond turns toward you as Rushev and his aide scurry out of the room. Let's go home, shall we? Alright, well, there you go. James Bond saves the day. And we have made peace in the world. So let's go ahead and choose this and see what happens. The nation is relieved that all of the recent madness has finally come to an end. Sweet. And here's the recent headline. New placebo, no more effective than regular placebo, study finds. We have a new postcard. Grudges are forever. Confront the threat of a nuclear apocalypse. Okay. And yeah, that's it. That's the issue series, one of the issue series. There are many more, but this one popped up and I want to do a video about it. So that has been the issue series for Madness. Not only did we finish that issue series, we also talked about the new flag of Von Julia. So, with that, I'm gonna end things here. So if you want to watch more awesome Von Julia videos before the next video comes out, go ahead and check out the NationStates playlist I have on my channel. You'll learn a lot about Von Julia. So with that, the ChrisofGames, rewind it. And with that, the Supreme President King out.